Have you ever been in a situation where you felt that your words were unable to fully express how you felt? Many people struggle with having the best and most effective communication skills, especially when it comes to an important conversation, which is why learning about effective communication and ways to improve your skills is helpful to all. I am Lily Deitch, and I am here to inform you on the topic of effective communication. I personally have been in various situations where I felt that I could express my thoughts more effectively and did not know how to do so. I gave myself time to step back and rethink my thoughts, implementing some techniques that I learned that allowed me to feel as if my thoughts could now be effectively expressed better than before. In order to express ideas, thoughts, and feelings through effective communication, there are certain helpful facts to know that can be implemented into your communication skills. It is important to understand the overall idea and key components of effective communication first, then looking deeper into preparing for an important conversation, as well as just a few simple tips that you can use in any conversation you may have. Let's begin with looking into the overall idea of effective communication and understanding its key aspects. When defining effective communication, the Investor's Book states that an effective communication is the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, and knowledge such that the purpose or intention is fulfilled in the best possible manner. Through this definition, we can see that the ways information is shared with people can be greatly influenced by the overall intention of the speaker. Effective communication begins with first understanding the parts that make the words you're saying relevant to your listener. Looking at this diagram from the Effective Communication Skills book, we can see that face-to-face speaking is just a small piece holding to the conversation that you're having together. The tone of voice that one uses when communicating, the word choice of the speaker, as well as the body language that is expressed in the conversation are all key aspects of an effective conversation. These background pieces of information give us insight into how effective communication works. It's key when looking about how maybe a previous conversation you had went wrong, or the ways that a future conversation you can have can be improved through your tone of voice, for example. Although there are many various parts to effective communication, the key points mentioned are useful when trying to effectively deliver your thoughts, ideas, and feelings through a conversation. Next, let's explore the ways that one can prepare for upcoming important conversation using effective communication skills. Preparing for an important conversation, such as an interview, a meeting, or just a conversation between your friends explaining that you didn't like something they did. In reference to Psychology Today, there are ways that you can mentally prepare for this sort of conversation by asking yourself a few different questions. First, think about the purpose of the conversation or your goal for the outcome. For example, it could be to get a raise or to express to your friend that you didn't like that they took your things without asking. Next, think deeply about the emotions that could be triggered through the conversation and the ways that you will not allow these emotions to affect your goal outcome. Finally, go into the conversation with a positive mindset. This can help you in any conversation that you may have. Just to be positive and hope for the best will help your tone of voice and body language in the conversation as well. Using these 3 points to prepare for your next conversation will make a huge change in your overall mindset on the situation and hopefully even end in a more positive outcome than you had planned. These are just a few things that you can do, but there's much more information that can be found on effective communication skills as well. Finally, there are just a few general conversation skills that are important to use in any sort of conversation, big or small, and help get your point across effectively every time. These 5 basic conversation skills can help any conversation be more effective as the speaker as well as the listener. This infographic from the Center for Creative Leadership shows 5 important skills that are helpful for all to know. First, keep your words clear. Do not get off track or your purpose of the conversation might be misinterpreted. Next, ensure you're direct and specific, stating the key points you're trying to get across without too much extra information. Listening is a key aspect of any conversation. It can sometimes be more important than speaking. Ensure your words are descriptive enough for your listener to fully understand what your main points, thoughts, and feelings are in the situation. Finally, the famous saying, actions speak louder than words. Carry out your intentions with a positive action to help yourself move forward positively in the future. Simply being aware of these 5 communication skills and keeping them in the back of your head for future use can be helpful for your next conversation and hopefully make it more effective. Finally, these 5 helpful tips will hopefully stay in the back of your head. All of the information shared today is just a small insight into the topic of effective communication in our world. It is important to know these things as well as being able to feel comfortable implementing them in your life conversations, due to the fact that these aspects of communication will be present in your daily lives forever, especially in the workplace and beyond. Learning about what effective communication truly is and ways to prepare yourself for an important conversation by asking yourself the few questions that were mentioned, as well as helpful tips that can be used in any scenario, allows you to see a small insight into this large idea. Being able to effectively express your thoughts, feelings, and ideas using these aspects of effective communication is an important part of the conversational skills that everyone should have. I want you to think about a time in the past when your conversation could have ended in a better result, or you did not let your emotions get in the way of your main points. Or think of a conversation you know that you'll be having in the future and use the 3 pointers we talked about earlier to help you prepare for it. I wanted to leave you with a quote I found in the Effective Communication Skills book written by James Starber. Precision of communication is important, more important than ever. In our era of hair-triggering balances, when a false or misunderstood word may create as much disaster as a sudden, thoughtless act. Thank you for your time today, and I hope that the effective communication skills spoken about will help each and every one of you in an upcoming conversation you may have.